Hello peachies, welcome back to Dear Peachie. So, you finally bought your first set of makeup products, and it's time to apply them. But whenever you try, your mind goes blank. We get it, if you know nothing about makeup but want to learn for an upcoming occasion, you're in the right place. This video will guide you through each step in detail to achieve this clean, romantic look that's perfect for any event, from graduations and dates to weddings. This look is easy for any makeup novice to master. It's not over the top, just an effortless style that will surely enhance your natural beauty. For this look, we found the rising makeup guru from XiaoHongShu, Tao. She creates content all about beauty and fashion, reviewing the latest makeup finds. Her content is loved by her fans, with 469,000 followers on her profile. If you want to stay updated on the latest beauty trends in China, Tao's account is the right place to visit. Without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. First, for those who wear glasses, consider using contact lenses. You can choose any color or lens diameter that suits your eye shape. To prep the skin for a smoother foundation application, start with a moisturizing serum. Tao recommends using water-based or fluidic moisturizing products as a safe choice if you're unsure which creams or lotions to use. Heavy textures from creams or lotions can cause the foundation to budge and reduce its staying power. After the skincare has fully absorbed into your skin, apply sunscreen. Tao uses a coin-sized amount of sunscreen, but if you live in a country with full sun or during summer, you might need slightly more. Tao recommends applying it to each side of your face separately, spreading it evenly in one direction. Avoid rubbing it in different directions, as this can lift peeling skin. Let it settle on your skin before proceeding to the next step. Tao mentions that many newbies don't know how to differentiate between sunscreen and primer. Sunscreen protects our skin from UV rays, while primer is usually used for color correcting or enhancing our pores. If you have concerns about color correcting dullness in your complexion, choose a primer in pink or purple and apply it to areas with hyperpigmentation or uneven skin tone. Again, spread the product in one direction. This step can even out your skin tone for a better complexion. If you don't have this concern, you can skip this step. Moving on to the base, Tao recommends that newbies use cushion foundation. It's convenient, easy to apply, and gives better control over the amount of product used. Unlike liquid foundation, where one pump might be too little and two pumps too much, cushion foundation allows for more precise application. Grab a cushion puff that you prefer. Tao often switches to her favorite puff since the ones included with the product sometimes don't meet her expectations. Gently press the puff onto the cushion foundation, then dab it onto your cheeks. Use a quick dabbing motion to tap the foundation all over your face. Start with a thin layer for an airy, natural finish. If you want more coverage, repeat the step and apply a second layer. Tao advises newbies to be mindful of how much product they use. Applying too much at once can make your base look cakey. Always remember to go light with each layer and build up if needed. When applying the foundation, apply some pressure while patting it into your skin. Just listen to how Tao pats it out to ensure the foundation is firmly set into your skin. Tao swears by this technique. Just look at how luminous and silky her skin looks. With the right pressure, your foundation will stay put more smoothly and for longer hours, feeling like a second skin. With the remaining product on the puff, pat it onto your neck to match your skin tone with your face. Next up is concealer. To correct dark circles under the eyes, Tao uses a salmon shade cream concealer. She dabs the concealer onto the back of her hand before applying it under her eyes. Using a flat concealer brush, she gently taps the concealer along the groove under her eyes. Be careful not to drag the brush along your skin, as this can ruin your base. If you haven't gotten a concealer yet, opt for a color-correcting concealer that matches your skin tone. Tao doesn't recommend colorful color-correcting palettes, as they are much more difficult for beginners to use. By lifting your brush and patting it directly onto your skin, this technique provides better coverage for your under-eye area. Repeat the same step for the other eye. If you have blemishes like acne, use a darker shade to conceal them. Tao's skin is flawless, so she doesn't need to conceal any blemishes. Once your base is done, set it with a setting spray. Spray it in an X motion to ensure all regions of your face are covered. Wait 10 seconds for a film to form over your base. Next, Tao further sets her skin with loose powder. If you have fewer blemishes and want a more breathable, light finish, loose powder is your best choice. However, if you have more blemishes and want more coverage, opt for compact powder. After dabbing the puff into the powder, tap it on your hand to remove the excess before applying it to your face. Setting with powder gives you a blurring effect that makes your skin look like porcelain. Always apply the powder vertically, directly to the skin without pulling or rubbing to avoid smudging the base. Just look at how flawless it looks. This technique is also extremely suitable for summertime, as it helps your base stay intact despite the heat and sweat. Next, apply a lip oil or aquaphor to prep your lips. This will make your lips look plumper and moisturized when you apply lip matte later. Tao also mentions that there is no correct sequence to applying makeup. Everyone has their own preferred order. So go with the flow that best suits you. Tao continues with her facial contour. She highly recommends using a powder-based contour palette. Using an angled nose brush, she taps off the excess contour powder. Tao suggests starting at the nose tip. At the base of your nose tip, fill in a V shape and blend it out slightly. Then draw brackets at the sides of your nose tip. Lastly, fill in a horizontal line across the nose tip to make it look pointy. Without going back to the palette, she uses the remaining powder on the brush to blend along the nose bridge. You can fill in the contour narrower to make your nose bridge look higher. As you can see from the dotted lines shown here, your nose bridge contour should form an L shape, with the end curving towards the nose wings. This gives more dimension to the shape of your nose. Then, deepen the shadow at the nose root, right in the triangle region around the eye socket, using the remaining powder on the brush. If the shadow isn't deep enough, dip back into the palette to intensify it. Notice the difference. It adds more definition to your eyes, making them look deeper and more defined. Repeat the same contour step on the other side. If you have a rounder nose shape, you can add more shadows to the sides of the nose tip. This technique sculpts your nose beautifully, looking great from all angles without appearing messy or dirty. For facial contouring, use a fluffy face contour brush. After picking up the contour powder, tap off the excess. Tao advises observing areas that are protruding when looking in the mirror. To achieve a smoother oval face shape, she applies contour to the highest points of her cheekbones, lightly tapping along the cheekbones. Be careful not to go overboard with your contour, or the shadow will appear unnatural when you turn your head. When viewed from the front, the subtle shadow on the side of your face gives you a forward-facing effect, helping your face look more defined. For brows, Tao advises newbies to stick with an easy method. Drawing fake brow hair strokes can be too difficult for beginners, so using brow powder to fill them in is simpler. Tao loves to use the lightest brow shade to fill in the overall shape of the brow, blending with a light hand. Applying too much pressure can cause harsh, unnatural brush strokes. Once you have the overall shape, mix darker shades to intensify the shadows in any blank spots. At the brow head, tilt your brush sideways to mimic the direction of brow hair growth. This makes your brows look natural and airy. If you have darker brows, you can lighten them with a lighter brow gel. Tao notes that the middle of her brow appears darker than the rest, so she lightens it there. Choose a dark brown or grayish-brown shade to match your hair color. If you have dyed your hair, pick shades that are closest to your brow color. This will make your brows look softer and fluffier. Finally, moving on to the eyes, Tao suggests that newbies avoid buying eyeshadow palettes with too many shades, as it can be challenging to match them. A palette with just 4 shades is more than enough. You also don't need to invest in many brushes. A larger blending brush and a smaller eyeshadow brush will suffice for now. Tao shares a basic formula for eyeshadow application that works for all eye looks. First, take the lightest matte shade from the palette with the blending brush. Tap off the excess and blend the shade all over the upper lid to lay down the base color. Start blending from the middle of the lid, close to the lash line, and swipe it to the left and right. Then bring the shade up above the crease. This technique creates a gradual change of color on your lids. For the lower lid, place your brush at the outer end, swipe it towards the front, and blend the shade slightly lower. This adds more contour to the aegyosal later. Just look at the difference. Not only does it add another layer of shade, but it also brings more dimension to your eyes through the intensity of colors. Next, grab the darker shade with the smaller blending brush. At this step, observe the region you want to darken based on your eye shape. Since Tao has rounder shaped eyes, she prefers to make them look longer. She places the darker shade at the outer V corner, as shown here, and blends the shade outwards to lengthen the shape of her eyes. For rounder shaped eyes, you can also add the shade right in the middle of the lid like this. Take your time to blend out the darker shades to ensure they seamlessly blend into the look. For the lower eyelid, Tao places her brush at the outer end and brings the shade forward, then swipes along the groove beneath her under eye fat for a aegyosal contour. If you have wider set eyes, you can also blend the same shade in the inner region of the upper lid to create a deeper set look. The same goes for the lower lid. Lightly line the same shade in the lower inner corner. This opens up more eye area, making your eyes appear larger. For daily eye looks, less emphasis is put on colors and shine. What's more important is giving structure to your eyes to make them look brighter and more prominent. If you want a little bit of shine, choose a subtle shimmery shade and dab it in the middle of your lid. Since the current trend favors the no makeup look or the clean girl look, Tao thinks it's a great opportunity for newbies to learn how to apply makeup. If you want a more dramatic effect, you can apply the eyeshadows more heavily. Don't worry if you look a bit crazy at this stage. Everything will come together after applying the rest of your makeup. For the aegyosal, Tao applies highlighter along the under eye fat and blends it out with a brush to make it look more natural. If the contour isn't defined enough, you can use a contour pen to go over the groove again. This will make your aegyosal more prominent and your eyes look wider. For eyeliner and mascara, Tao personally prefers applying mascara before filling in the eyeliner. Curling the lashes after applying eyeliner can cause the liner to smudge. To curl your lashes, place the curler on your lid and push upwards to expose your lash line like this. Then, clip the curler together and slightly pull it downwards while pressing the clipper multiple times to ensure a firm grip on your lashes. Before your lashes get droopy again, quickly apply a mascara primer to set the curls. Place the wand at the base of your lashes and lift upwards. For the lower lashes, place the wand at the roots and hold for a few seconds before moving to the ends. After applying mascara, you can curl your lashes again lightly to give them an extra boost. Just look at how voluminous they look. Applying false lashes can be a bit tricky for newbies, but Tao believes that many beginners want to learn. So here's her big sister's advice: opt for cluster lashes with a larger base. Better quality falsies provide easier application. First, squeeze some lash glue onto a surface and wait for it to become tacky. Use tweezers to remove the lashes from the case and dip them into the glue. Tilt your head back and place the lashes beneath your natural lashes. Swipe the lashes along your lash line before fixing their position. Use the blunt end of the tweezers to adjust and secure them. If you want a more detailed step-by-step guide on applying lashes, we have a video dedicated to this topic. Click here to watch it. By repeating these steps, your lashes will look fantastic. While skipping falsies gives a more natural and subtle look, putting them on will elevate your appearance to a whole new level. Tao encourages newbies to practice a little bit, as it's totally worth it. For eyeliner, Tao prefers a method that's less likely to go wrong. She suggests using a flat eyeshadow brush and dipping it into the darkest shade of brown in the palette. Using the flat surface of the brush, line the eyeliner at the outer corner for a subtle lift. With the remaining powder on the brush, adjust the shape and sharpen the end of the liner. This method is not only easy to do but also accentuates our eyes beautifully. To further highlight the eyes, line the same shade along the outer third of the lash line. Look how it structures her eyes! Blend it forward a little to make it look more natural. As Tao mentioned earlier, after applying the rest of her makeup, the eyeshadow looks less heavy. Give yourself a round of applause because you did a great job. With the eyes done, let's move on to blush. Blush seems like the easiest task in this whole routine, but if you don't blend it out in the right shape, it can still affect how your makeup looks. First, let's pick a neutral blush shade with lower saturation. This is the shade you can never go wrong with in any look. Tal has chosen a muted peach shade that works well for anyone, no matter their age. When applying blush, avoid going overboard with the color as it can look too intense. Tal uses a tapered brush to pick up some powder, tapping off the excess before applying it to her face. The blush should be placed between the lines aligned with the middle of your eyes and nose. Apply the blush by tapping in a circular motion in a small area. Check if the blush is enough. If not, add another layer and blend it slightly further to intensify it. This technique gives you a round-shaped blush that complements any look. If you want a more flushed look, continue to add more within the same region and blend it out in the circular area. Repeat on the other side, intensifying in the middle and blending out to a larger area. You can also swipe the remaining powder on your brush across your nose bridge, nose tip, and chin. Adding a bit to your eyes can make the entire look more cohesive too. To elevate this look, use a matte highlighter and apply it to the inner cheeks, the triangle area below your eyes, to brighten this region. Once applied, you can see your face lifted forward. Apply the highlighter to the smile lines, nose tip, and nose bridge to give them better definition. Tal also loves adding it to her forehead to lift this region and give her face a more forward appearance. Unlike shimmery highlighters, adding too much matte highlighter won't make your look messy. It brightens your face with a more subtle effect. You can also add some to the brow bone. Look at the difference it makes to Tal's makeup. Everything is more defined now. Last but not least, the lips. Tal mentions that many of us unintentionally apply lip color in a way that emphasizes our lip shape in a harsh manner. If you're not confident with your lip shape, filling in the lip lines with rich colors can make your lips stand out more than you'd like. Here is an incorrect demonstration from Tal, showing how applying lip products directly and heavily along the lip lines can make the lips look harsh and out of place. The right way to do it is to start by concealing your lips with a bit of foundation, then gently wiping off the excess foundation with a tissue. With your lips now layered with a light coat of foundation, pick a low saturation lip shade and apply it within the inner region of your lips. Use your fingers to smudge out the edges, following the natural shape of your lips for a more blended, natural look. If you want bigger lips, smudge the color out a little further from your natural lip line. Be careful not to smudge the inner region of your lips too much. Use the same technique for your upper lip. Smudge out a little higher at the cupid's bow to help shorten the philtrum. For more definition, apply a little more color to the philtrum and the inner region of the upper lip. Smudge it out to blend with the rest of your lips, and you'll achieve super juicy and natural-looking lips. If you want a more intense effect, you can go over the same spot and layer more product. At this stage, your look is nearly perfect, but Tal likes to add a finishing touch. The cherry on top is using a shimmery highlighter. Apply it to the inner corners of your eyes in a C shape, extending slightly along the eyes. Just a tiny bit of highlighter can transform the look. Add a little to the nose tip, nose bridge, and cupid's bow. You'll notice that the makeup now looks more dewy, airy, and complete. With the right hairstyle and outfit, this look brings out the elegant beauty in Tal. We love how this look exudes softness, effortlessness, and lightness, without giving the impression of trying too hard. It feels like Tal's natural beauty is unleashed with this look, achieved without vibrant colors or harsh liners. It's approachable and enhances her natural features beautifully. So what are you waiting for? Practice this look for your upcoming events. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video. Goodbye.